All right, here we go. These are this is what you'll have some fun with this.
You know we cut grass, right?
You do more than that. You know, I love entrepreneurs. I love everybody here. Let me tell you something. I do have a special place in my heart for the American entrepreneurs. I remember these guys coming by my office and they said, "Scott, can we spend just a few minutes with you and tell you about a business plan?" And I heard it. I said, "Man, it seems like it's going to be a go, but you guys are going to have to work hard." And you have. And you provided employment. I respect you for that. Okay, I got a little math for you. Okay, here we go. You make $30,000. Okay? You choose to spend $50,000. All right? You got a difference of what? 20. There you go. All right. Now, there we go. All right. So basically, you have to go out and you got to get that money from somewhere. You got to borrow it from somewhere. $20,000, and that represents 20,000 represents. I'm going to do the math. I'm going to say 40% of what you're spending. 40% of what, not some abstract federal government. Please personalize this because indeed it is. It's all of us. Every one of us. We are borrowing 40% of what we're spending this year. Now, I got a question for you. Whether you're a person, a business, or a country, is that sustainable? Absolutely not. You got the right answer. You know, I don't want to, we have a little bit of fun with it, but of course at the end of the day, it's a profoundly serious situation. I think we have a deficit, not just one, but really two in Washington. We have a financial deficit, $12.6 trillion and growing. It'll grow about $100 million in the hour that we're here from start to finish. I'm not going to speak for an hour, but I'm saying that in 1 hour, our federal debt grows by about $100 million. And I think we have this massive and growing debt and deficit because we have a leadership deficit. That's what's caused our financial deficit, is a deficit in leadership. Justice hit on it just a little bit of our experience as an entrepreneur, entrepreneurial family. I remember bringing Lindsay and Mallory down to the dealership and we'd be making calls to our customers. Our first business was actually a cleaning business that we mentioned there in the video. So I've been an entrepreneur all my life. And I think one reason that Freedom Ford has kind of navigated, we started in a recession and we're navigating it through this one, is really three things that we did. First, the principle of servant leadership. I took down that owner's parking at the front and parked out in the gravel parking lot in the back. And I walk in every day with our company members because I just wanted to say, I'm not better than you, I have a different job than you, but I'm not better than you. That was part of it. We wrote our guiding principles and values. Here's the second one. We believe that honesty, trust, and respect are the foundations of good relationships with our customers, our suppliers, and each other. We had good core values at our dealership. And the third was accountability. People said we were crazy by putting up our home phone number up all over the dealership. And they'd say, "Scott, you can't do that. People will call you at home." I said, "Wait a minute. If we live out these vision statements and guiding principles and values, we should welcome the opportunity to hear from our customers." That's real accountability. And that's just how we built our business. And I know of no other way than to lead by example. And that is the kind of accountability I want to bring to Washington, requiring accountability from department heads, requiring accountability from someone who comes in and says, "We need more money," and also being accountable to the people of the 2nd District. I will never be afraid to meet in an open forum with people from the 2nd Congressional District. You have my personal pledge tonight. I've learned something in my journey, my 25 years as an entrepreneur and a business owner, that leadership matters. Leadership matters. I know of no other better example in the corporate world than Alan Mulally. He's the president, CEO of Ford Motor Company. For those of you who don't follow automotive stocks and manufacturers all that much, it's okay. I'll give you a quick lesson. About 3 years ago, all this talk about Ford going bankrupt. But Bill Ford, who ran Ford, had the privilege, had the wisdom, I should say, the wisdom and the humility to go out and hire Alan Mulally. And Alan Mulally came in and he said, "Wow, this is kind of a mess. he set priorities. He looked ahead and he said, what's coming at Ford Motor Company? What do we have to do to prepare this company? And he made the right decisions, and Ford navigated through this without going into all the government bailouts and everything else. You see, that's what leaders do. Leaders set priorities. Leaders look ahead and say, what's coming at us and how are we going to prepare? And very quickly tonight, I want to share with you the 3 priorities that we must do in America and within the 2nd Congressional District. For the reasons that I mentioned earlier, we've got to get a handle on our federal spending. So reducing federal spending is my principal objective. Getting our expense side. Why do I focus on that? Because I know Washington doesn't have a revenue problem. Washington has an expense problem. And if you project these trends out, as I've done as a business person, I'm going, oh, these things are not sustainable. That's why I got into this race. And I want to go up there and protect us from folks who don't have the self-discipline or the wisdom or the knowledge, whatever the reason that have gotten us into this kind of a mess we're in, financial mess. The second thing is, and I know a lot about this, is securing the jobs that we already have, those military commands and vessels and operations, and just the great companies that we do have here, and then creating the environment so that we can create more jobs. Now, did you notice I didn't say something? I didn't say, and I want to go and create jobs. Why? Because I know that it's Doug and me and others like him, them, and other men and women across our district and across America. It's the small business owner, the entrepreneur. This is the economic engine that has created more jobs in the history of mankind than any other country. I mean, this is a great engine. It's the small business owner, the entrepreneur. And I know a little bit about that. I've been doing that for 25 years. And then third, and this is so important, and this is something I've really learned and has become so important to me in this journey to serve folks of the 2nd District. And it's this. To change Congress, rather than having Congress change me. The forces that come against the people who serve are enormous. Pressure to compromise. Pressure to put a re-election above all else, above the interest of the people. That's how we've gotten into this mess. And as I've listened to people from the district, I don't even know. I'm with people every day. I start my day with breakfast with people, listening, and then half the time at lunch and at dinner, writing down in my journal what I'm hearing from all of you, and your families, and your coworkers, and your friends. So I'm committed to changing Congress, rather than having Congress change me. I'll give you one example of that. Incumbents have this enormous advantage of getting reelected. We know that. Statistically, it's way up there. Why is that? Is that because they're all doing a great job? No, because they have built-in advantages so that they get reelected. And this distances them from all of us. It makes them feel like they're aristocrats. They're privileged. It's a privileged class. My reelection is almost certain, as most incumbents would do. So I'm sitting there. One day I come home and Terry says, Scott, look at this piece of paper. I look at it. It's from Congressman Glenn Nye. And it's in full color, 4-page, 1, 2, 3, 4. And on the front of it, it says something like this. It says, Congressman Glenn Nye, watching every penny of taxpayers' dollars. Oh, I turned it over on the back. In the smallest print on demand, it says, paid for at taxpayers' expense. I'm trying to reconcile this. My business was being rocked at that time. We were being pounded at that time. I cut my salary to 0. I haven't drawn a salary from our dealership in 15 months.